Internet, Eric here. Rachel's over there.
Hello.
We are back with, finally, it seems like we always want to do these things real fast, and it always takes us like a month and a half to do them. But we're back with another Please Don't Make Me Watch. Last time, Rachel made me watch Babes in Toyland, and I absolutely hated it.
Was that the last one?
I'm pretty sure.
Okay.
Babes in Toyland, and that is now the number one movie that Rachel has made me watch and absolutely hate. If you're new to this concept, I pick a movie that I think Rachel will hate. She has to watch it. She's not allowed to use electronics to distract her. Then we do a review, and then she gets her revenge. Well, for revenge, I really went for the throat. And what I do is there is a Facebook channel or Facebook page for this channel, and we go live, and I put a bunch of movies in a bag. Our daughter picks one, blindly, and that's what Rachel has to watch. Our daughter, in her infinite wisdom and bless her heart, Rachel had to watch Pro Wrestlers versus Zombies. And you can tell from the cover here that the quality is extremely fucking low. Now this came out in 2000. Well, IMDb says 2013. This says 2014. Who knows? If you're new to my channel, welcome. Plot spoilers and all that stuff. Okay, so what we do is with this idea, the person who was forced to watch it tries to retell the basic plot of the movie. This should be easy, Rachel, because there wasn't much to it. What's the basic plot of Pro Wrestlers versus Zombies before we get into how much you hated this film?
Hey, let me read the synopsis of how it actually went during the movie. I wrote some things down.
Okay.
So.
And we will forgive Rachel. She's not a wrestling person, so she's not going to know who any of these people are other than Roddy Piper and Kurt Angle, basically.
That's about it, yeah. So it starts out showing people wrestling.
Naturally.
Cisco was there, from what I can tell.
Yeah.
Some wrestler died in the ring.
Okay.
Don't really know how. They didn't really show too much of that, just that he started drooling.
Okay.
Then it cuts to two guys exchanging money.
Okay.
Can't understand the one, so I'll call him Mumbles.
That did happen.
I think he was Irish. I don't know.
It doesn't matter. Just like the basic plot, and then we'll go like point by point.
Yeah. Then it cuts to some girl who breaks her compact by looking at it. That cuts right to that after the guys are exchanging money. Then some guy jumps out at her and tries to scare her. Just for fun. And then all of a sudden, the guy that was talking to Mumbles came out. Wait, was it Mumbles?
Doesn't matter. Keep going. Like I said, just the basic plot. You don't have to go point by point now. We'll talk about that.
Well, I'm almost done.
Yeah, see, that's how fucking little.
Then Mumbles takes her. I guess he wanted her compact. I don't know. Then he kills her and eats her heart.
Yes.
Then she turns into a vampire, or not a vampire, a zombie.
I guess.
Hence the name of the movie, I guess. That's basically the plot of what I got.
Wow, she really checked out very early.
There was not any really dialogue of what was going on. They didn't explain much. They basically ends up the one wrestler killed the guy in the ring because
Shane
that
Douglas.
guy. I don't know.
Yeah, I'm just saying it for the video. Yeah.
That guy was having an affair with
A whore. That's all.
the other guy's girlfriend. And then some guy got mad.
Are you tapping out? Do you need some help?
No. And some guy got mad because his brother died, so he, for some reason, thought it would be fun, I guess, to somehow conjure devil spirits and make people zombies. It's really the plot
That's
of it.
pretty close.
Because I don't, at any point, I don't understand how the guy has magical powers to make these people
Okay.
Zombies.
She's pretty close. What happens is there's an independent wrestling event, and Shane Douglas, who is the main wrestler, finds out that his girlfriend is having an affair with like Battling Billy or something. It was some stupid fucking name.
Okay.
And then he kills him in the ring with a tombstone pile driver. And then we find out that Battling Billy's brother worships the devil or some shit like that. Talks to the Dark Lord. And what happens is he like.
This is Mumbles.
Yeah, this is Mumbles. Mumbles is the brother who worships the Dark Lord, and he kidnaps some girl, eats her heart, and she comes back as a zombie, and then she starts making other wrestlers zombies. And what happens is he now wants to get Shane Douglas and a bunch of other wrestlers, which include Roddy Piper, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, Matt Hardy, Kurt Angle, to have a wrestling event in an abandoned prison for some reason. And then it's basically the pro wrestlers versus zombies, and at the end, they try to stop Mumbles. Mm-hmm. So very, very loose plot, very, very stupid plot.
Very, very bad lip reading and dubbing.
We'll talk about that. So
you would have thought that everyone... It was like they redubbed everybody's voice in English, even though everybody already spoke English.
Yeah. Before we get to the numerous bads, is there anything good you can say about this film?
No.
Okay. Well, I will say this. As a wrestling fan, it was cool to see Roddy Piper in a movie and Kurt Angle. Fuck Matt Hardy. I hate him. The worst part, well, we're talking about the goods right now. Kurt Angle, Hacksaw Jim Duggan, even Shane Douglas, I like them. It was cool seeing them all together in one place fighting zombies. I did say for a budget of $2, the gore wasn't bad. There was some decent makeup effects, like when Kurt Angle turned into a zombie and his head was kind of falling off.
That was okay.
That was okay. When Matt Hardy got ripped in half, that looked lame, but I was happy he died, so that's a good. Yeah, there were some decent gore effects for a very cheap budget. Some of the makeup effects on the zombie, was half and half. Some looked bad, like with just pasty white skin.
And Mumbles just looked like you know who he looked like? Who was the Undertaker's
Paul Bearer.
Little guy? Yeah.
Yeah, Paul Bearer.
He had the big raccoon eyes.
Yeah, he looked like Paul. He was a thinner Paul Bearer, but he did have the dark circles under his eyes. But he had like a faux hawk. And he walked around with like a cane or something. But that's pretty much the only goods in it. Like, some of the action is decent. I liked when when the female zombie was taking out a couple of the rednecks and like she was throwing them like through the walls and stuff and jumping on guys. That was fine. Some of the action is decent because a lot of the zombies are also played by pro wrestlers, so they can really hit each other and make it look more realistic. But there is not much else to pro wrestlers versus zombies. Like Rachel said, there is a lot of bad ADR. The voiceovers that you talked about.
It very much...
It looked like a Japanese movie, like a Godzilla film. For the most part...
I was going to say, it actually reminded me of a very, very low-budget high school put-on movie.
Yeah.
Or like a very, 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 very... bad adult, not adult like as in porn, but adult as in action and gore, after school special.
Okay.
Like it was filmed in somebody's basement.
Yeah.
And that's about all, I mean...
Well, yeah, that's... Well, the ADR was bad, and ADR is where... Because a lot of times, Roddy Piper's talking to Shane Douglas outside, and they had to do ADR. The voice doesn't sync up at all. When Mumbles is talking to the promoter and when Shane Douglas is talking to the promoter's voice doesn't sync up at all. So that's shitty. Matt Hardy, who is a wrestler I absolutely hate, basically he's only in the movie to make out with some chick, and he looks fat and bloated in this, and his death, even though I'm glad he dies.
Because...
Go ahead.
What happened? At what part... They showed him running away from the zombies, and he wasn't near them. Then the very next clip is him crawling through the door and he's ripped in half. What happened in between there?
And it wasn't just that. They spent that whole waste of like a 3 to 5 minute sequence where he's fighting the zombies himself. He's hitting them with like cookie sheets and ladders and stuff, which is decent. But then he climbs up to like the second floor and he's crawling on the cages just to punch another zombie that's following him.
Was that him or was that Dreads?
Well, he was punching another zombie, and that zombie fell, and then he just immediately jumped back down. So he climbed up there for nothing. Dreads was an independent wrestler. Don't know who the fuck he was. He was fine. He was there to do like the flippy shit on the zombies. He was fine. Mm-hmm. But
and, one other thing. So Cisco.
Yeah, Cisco is Thomas Rodman, I think the wrestler was.
I
Black guy with blonde hair.
So
Cisco.
They don't ever really show him dying and becoming a zombie. He just kind of becomes a zombie. And then, at one part, Roddy Piper locks him in this freezer thing to die. The very next scene, you see Cisco out.
He's in the group of zombies attack.
Zombies again.
Yeah. So it's just, the editing in this is really bad. Now, there is some cool stuff, like if you're a wrestling fan, like I liked that Rachel didn't give two shits about. Before Kurt Angle turns into a zombie, he puts one of them in the ankle lock, which is his finishing move, and he breaks their foot off. And then the whole, I told you about the coconut, Roddy Piper did that to Jimmy Snuka. He kills a zombie by bashing a coconut over its head. Roddy Piper, bless his heart, tried his best.
He was probably the only one that had somewhat of some sort of acting ability. Not that it was good.
No, you could tell he didn't. You could tell he didn't want to be there.
Compared to everybody else in the movie, it was better than that.
Yeah,
but that's not saying much.
I've read even Roddy said this was like a miserable time. Like he didn't like doing it. The only one I read who liked doing it was Kurt Angle, and that's because he was able to wear the makeup and have his like head ripped off and stuff. But
there was one part I kind of felt bad for Roddy. I will admit that. He was obviously buddies with some guy that was a wrestler. And that guy had a wood mallet.
Oh, okay.
He was turned into a zombie. And you could see that Roddy was sad that he was going to have to kill his friend.
Yeah. She's talking about Hacksaw Jim Duggan. Roddy and Hacksaw are best buds. And then Hacksaw is, he tells Roddy to get out and everybody to get out. And he gets locked in with the zombies by Shane Douglas because Shane is doing that to everybody. Shane's a big piece of shit. And then Duggan's already covered in blood.
Right.
And it is pretty neat seeing Hacksaw Jim Duggan. He's got a big 2x4. And he's killing zombies left and right with the 2x4. And then he gets killed off screen. And then Roddy walks in and then, Duggan's right there on the cover. He's eating somebody's arm. And then Roddy has to bash his head in off screen. With the 2x4. The problem is, though, Roddy picks up the part of the 2x4 that's covered in blood.
So his hand would, you think, slip off.
Well, what happened? No, he must not have noticed it. He picks up the 2x4 and he's going to bash in Duggan's head. The 2x4 slips out of his hand, like he's just going, wha! And you just hear it just go dink, dink, dink. And it's bad. But it is a sad scene. But there's just so much weird bullshit. Like Roddy has a girlfriend.
And they don't explain much about it at all.
You don't know who she is really, and if she did, it's because we didn't care. But she was walking around with a machete. She knows how to fight zombies. She knows how to defeat these zombies.
Well, that was one part too. She just kind of appeared and was talking to Mumbles one day.
Yeah.
And he was giving her money for some reason. I don't know if he was trying to...
Yeah, was she part of the cult or whatever?
That's what I don't understand. I don't know if she was part of the cult. I don't know if he was trying to get her to be a part of the cult and get everybody else there.
Yeah.
Or just she was a decoy.
Yeah.
They don't explain anything.
There was a cool scene where... It was, I wouldn't say emotional, but you wouldn't expect it, where like Shane Douglas leaves and then when he comes back, like the zombies have like killed his family, which includes like his little like
His nephew.
Nephew, who's probably like, what, 8 or whatever. So that's kind of neat because later on, when all the zombies are attacking and everybody's outside, Shane has to re-kill his family, including his little nephew. Like, he even snaps his nephew's neck. I didn't expect that to happen, at least with the kid, so that was neat. But what really sucks is, okay, so Mumbles wants to get revenge on Shane Douglas. And Shane first tells Roddy that it's his fault, and Roddy's like, no, it was Battling Billy's fault because he didn't tuck his head with the pile driver. Later on, you find out Shane Douglas killed the guy on purpose because he was fucking his, rat, that's what they called groupies in wrestling. They call them rats. He's fucking this rat, and so he killed him on purpose. So you don't like Shane Douglas. The problem is Shane Douglas is like the main character other than like Roddy Piper.
And what does he keep yelling at himself? Yelling that what he is? What is he?
He's the franchise.
Oh, okay.
That's his wrestling nickname. That's why.
Okay.
But, so you don't like him, and then you hate him even more because he ditched Hacksaw Jim Duggan. He ditched, you called him Dreadlocks or whatever. He ditched him, and he says, says something about, independent wrestlers die, main event wrestlers live, or some bullshit. So now you want Shane Douglas to die, which makes no sense if he's the main character, right? Okay. And when Mumbles finally kills Shane Douglas, it's so fucking pathetic. Shane isn't eaten by zombies. He doesn't get his heart ripped out. He doesn't beaten to death. He literally has a chain wrapped around his neck, and then Mumbles just twists it until he chokes him out. Fucking stupid.
There is another side character that we didn't really understand why they were there. I called him a pimp.
Oh, he was
some creepy guy that would always stand around in the corner, and he was dressed like a pimp, but yet also dressed like a hillbilly.
He looked.
So
yeah.
I don't, and he talked like this.
He did.
So, and nobody really knows why he was even a part of this.
He didn't have to be. He was probably a friend of someone who was making the movie.
I think he had 2 lines when he wasn't screaming.
And then what really was weird is you find out that you can defeat this. They take the idea of you kill the head vampire and everybody turns normal.
Right.
But if you kill the 2 people that were part of the heart eating ritual, you kill those 2 zombies, all the other zombies will die automatically. So they kill those 2 zombies and the other zombies die. And it's really stupid. And then Roddy Piper gets the girl. They kiss under the American flag, and then it ends to some really cheesy Scottish music because Roddy Piper's Scottish. And it's not even good Scottish music.
No.
It's kind of like, Dropkick Murphys, party, let's go get drunk college music.
You know what it's like? Was it Drawn Together that we watched and they didn't have the rights to, or Family Guy, they didn't have the rights to the song with Rocky when he's running up the thing. So it's a really bad,
yeah.
It was scratchy. It was basically like that.
It sounded like you took a bucket of hot water and threw it on a cat. There's not really much else to say.
No.
Did I hate this movie? No. I bought it I found it for $5 on eBay. I don't feel ripped off. I get to see Roddy Piper fight zombies. I get to see Hacksaw Jim Duggan fight zombies. I fucking hate Matt Hardy so much. And as much as it sucks watching his bloated, sweaty ass make out with some hot chick, and she's not even hot. I never found Ruby Sky hot. He does die in this movie, so that's a good fantasy that I get to see. This movie is not good at all. It drags a lot. It's only an hour and a half long, and we're checking the time at 45 minutes in.
Yeah.
It takes a long time to build up. We don't really give a shit about Shane Douglas and Roddy Piper having lunch at fucking McDonald's or whatever. We didn't need any of that. Overall, it's garbage. It's stupid. But if you like stupid films, this is something that would be fine. If Derek came over and we had a bunch of beer and we put it in and we made fun of it. That's the type of movie this is. Get drunk with your buddies and watch it. Don't watch it sober by yourself. Now, we know Rachel hated this movie. Now, if you're following this series of videos, Rachel's #1 movie that she hated was the Bruce Campbell film, The Man with the Screaming Brain. Rachel, is this worse than The Man with the Screaming Brain? You have to pick.
I know. Oh, it's so close. In a tie. Like,
There is no ties.
no, I'm just saying in general. Like, it. So, okay, we'll say Man with the Screaming Brain, let's say it's 1.1.
Okay.
This movie would probably be 1.3/4.
Wow. I'm surprised.
They're so close. It's basically like a splinter difference.
So
between the two of
basically,
them.
I'm very surprised. Rachel's saying this is better. It doesn't matter how close. The Man with the Screaming Brain. I'm very surprised. I thought this would be the worst one so far. Damn. Because
They're almost identical, though.
I almost
as far
got you.
as
I
the
almost got you.
badness.
Okay. Well, that's it. Pro Wrestlers versus Zombies. I enjoy it for it being stupid, but it's really dumb. Rachel fucking hated it. Like and subscribe. Comment below. Tell me if you've seen this. I don't know what else to say because we've rambled on enough. Rachel has the next choice. I have no idea what it is. So pray for my soul. Cheers.